Hi, I'm Mike Christiansen, and I thank all of you for joining me at this webinar sponsored by Consonus Music and co-sponsored by the NAfME Solutions Music Group. At this webinar, I'd like to talk about the key factors that are necessary to build a successful and a robust guitar program in your school district. This webinar won't give you all of the answers you'll need to design the ideal guitar program, but it will identify the areas and the issues you'll need to consider. Now, because this is a live webinar, if you have any questions or comments, please submit them in the chat room, and I'll be happy to respond at the end of the broadcast. Some of the topics I'll be talking about include why it's a good idea to add guitar to the curriculum, how guitar classes have been traditionally organized, and the important factors and issues that need to be considered in setting up a successful guitar program, such as who will teach the classes and how they'll receive the training to competently teach the guitar, which grades will participate in the program, will it be a multi-year program, which is what I would highly recommend, what instructional standards will you incorporate in your program. This will determine the curriculum that you'll adopt as well as the assessment criteria. If you're looking at a multi-year course of study that sequentially progresses from beginning to more advanced levels, you'll need to have a curriculum that conforms to your standards over 2 or more levels and that teachers know how to teach. What instructional method will the teachers use? With the development of educational technology and its adoption in schools, there are new adoptions or new options for instructional methods such as blended learning, which is ideal for teaching instrumental music. What do you need to conduct guitar classes? This includes instruments, facilities, and equipment, and the importance of incorporating ensemble playing in the guitar curriculum. If you're watching this webinar, you probably either have an existing guitar program or some guitar classes in your district schools, or you're exploring the possibility of creating a program from the ground up. You also have an idea of why guitar makes sense, but I'd like to spend a few minutes up front to talk about the benefits of guitar and why it's quickly gaining ground as one of the most efficient mediums for school instrumental music. Here's some reasons for adding guitar in your school district. The guitar is culturally relevant. Practically every family has one in the house. It's the instrument of the younger generation. It's never been more true than today. It's a versatile instrument. Guitarists can be heard playing every style, from classical to rock, and a good guitar curriculum will contain repertoire from a variety of music genres. The guitar is an important part of the music of many cultures, including the uniquely American art forms of blues and jazz. The guitar is equitable and affordable. We hear that many times instrumental music programs are not being offered in the Title I schools or schools in less affluent school districts. These schools are not able to afford an adequate number of traditional band or orchestra instruments, and their students typically can't afford instrument rentals. We all know that music is important to student success, and guitar, because of its affordability, can make instrumental music available in the most financially challenged communities. But it's not enough that students have access to music to a semester or two while they enroll in a class. The accessibility of guitar gives economically deprived students the opportunity to be lifelong musicians. Apart from keyboard-based instruments, the guitar is the only other instrument which can provide a complete music experience. Students studying guitar can learn about rhythm, pitch, harmony, improvisation, the requirements of playing in an ensemble, and it's a great tool to develop composition skills. The acquisition of these music skills can not only make musicians out of the students, but maybe even because most of the students will most likely not pursue music as a career, the knowledge that they've acquired studying guitar will make them more educated consumers of music. The guitar has a short learning curve, and that more than many other instruments. It can be deceptively simple and somewhat misunderstood as an instrument. Students can learn some of the basics quickly, and it's relatively easy to get a good sound. This means that in a matter of few months, students can participate in ensemble performances and accompany their own vocal pieces. But the guitar is a very deep and challenging instrument as well. Like many other instruments, it can take a lifetime to master. When a man said to Segovia after one of his concerts, I'd give half my life to play like that. Segovia responded, "It took twice that much." Some ill-informed people might associate the guitar with only one style of music, when actually it is arguably the most versatile instrument of all. Because the guitar is so versatile, the learning curve can be lengthened considerably. The cost of the curriculum, even using blended learning, which I highly recommend, is very affordable. Adding guitar to your curriculum will increase music participation. The one area where I have not seen any challenges is in recruitment. All you have to do is get the word out that classes are being offered in guitar, and the classes will be full. It's common for some music teachers to feel threatened by the addition of guitar classes, feeling that it would cannibalize their existing band or string programs. I've taught workshops to thousands of educators all around the country who are teaching guitar. Many of them are band, orchestra, or choir directors who have had little training prior to being asked to teach the guitar class. They have all reported to me that the guitar class does not take away from the other classes. Guitar students are most often those students who would not otherwise enroll in a traditional music class. I recently attended a middle school concert, and when I saw 50 young guitarists performing on the stage, I commented to the person next to me, "There are 50 students up there that would not have had a music experience in school if it had not been for the guitar class." The guitar class could even enhance existing programs. I've seen many cases where the guitar instructor has combined the guitar classes in concert with other music classes. The guitar class could accompany a choir or other instruments. Students from the band or orchestra could combine with the guitars in the concert. How has guitar traditionally been organized? With site-based programs. In the past, guitar hasn't been seen as serious music. Its adoption as a course in school was often as an enrichment program or as a limited course for a student to earn fine arts credit. Guitar wasn't held to the same standard as the traditional music programs, and it wasn't typically incorporated in a curriculum plan at the school district level. This meant that as a site-based music program, there wasn't consistency in what was being taught to guitar students or how it was being taught. Since the guitar teacher is not typically a guitarist or trained in guitar pedagogy, results are often mixed. The teacher might not require the students to perform. They didn't play ensemble repertoire, and the idea that the guitar wasn't capable of producing a legitimate music experience was perpetuated. Of course, nothing could be further from the truth. Guitar can be used to play real music, and it can be the basis for a robust, deep music program that students can begin in elementary or middle schools and progress with through their high school years. Of course, for this to happen, there are a few things that you'll need to remember. First, site-based programs, as a rule, don't work as well for guitar as they do for band, choir, or orchestra. The reason is that band, choir, and orchestra, those teachers, have a common frame of reference in their music education training. The other problem with site-based programs is that they typically don't integrate with the other schools in the district. This means that there won't be a path of progression in the curriculum for students in multi-year programs. It also makes it difficult to coordinate concerts and music festivals because there isn't a common frame of reference for student performances. Lastly, if curriculum isn't chosen from some sort of standard, there's inconsistency in the quality of the musical education that students receive from site to site, and it's an uneven playing field to try to do comparative assessment. Who will teach the program, and how will they be trained? Who will teach the guitar program? The answer is your existing music faculty or your existing resources. Most guitar teachers are the school's band, choir, or orchestra teacher. There are very few dedicated K-12 guitar teachers who started out only teaching guitar. Most guitar teachers are teaching by default. Teachers are asked to teach guitar by an administrator who decided that guitar would be a great elective. These teachers are typically unprepared to teach the class and initially have to scramble to assemble a curriculum and figure out a system to teach. Needless to say, the quality of guitar class isn't optimal. Still, as I say to these same teachers at many guitar training workshops we conduct each year, music educators can make the best guitar teachers. They have a lot of the foundation they need. They're trained educators. They understand the students. They're musicians. All they're missing is the specific training in guitar pedagogy, some skill development, an understanding of what constitutes good curriculum, and an effective teaching method. I'll talk more about those points in a few minutes. In terms of training for classroom guitar pedagogy, there haven't been many options available until now. At the Consonus Music Institute, in partnership with the NAfME Solutions Music Group, we are providing on-site professional development workshops that are tailored to the needs of school districts and music teachers. These training workshops are equally effective for music educators without guitar teaching experience and those who would like to improve their teaching skills. We teach the same principles that I've taught in many of my methods and pedagogy courses at Utah State University. We also provide online training resources for teachers as part of our blended learning guitar curriculum. Which grades will participate in your guitar program? Depending on the commitment your school district has made to music, it's entirely possible to start guitar as early as the 5th grade and continue through middle school and into high school. As I mentioned earlier, guitar has a short learning curve to become a functional player, but it can take a lifetime to master. In elementary school, we typically see guitar or ukulele offered as either an extracurricular course, a club activity, as well as a multi-week unit in general music courses. It is more rare to see a dedicated semester for a year-long elementary guitar course. Middle school guitar programs are much more typical, and it's not uncommon for students to have a beginning and intermediate class in middle school. These students are enthusiastic about learning guitar for a variety of reasons and have more time to apply themselves to practice. Middle school students are just starting to develop the strength and coordination to progress on the instrument. If they can continue guitar into high school, they'll have the foundation to achieve some high levels of musicianship in both solo and ensemble playing. Guitar in high school is commonly offered as a 1 or 2 semester course as a means to fulfill students' fine arts credit. A second-year intermediate elective may also be offered. This potentially would be a way to accommodate students advancing from a middle school program, as well as high school players in their second year. As you may be starting to see, multi-year guitar programs with students feeding from a network of schools into one or more high school requires coordination among the teachers who are producing the students. What and how students learn as they progress through their school years with guitar needs to be planned, and it needs to be standardized. Let's talk about curriculum for just a minute. Curriculum is the glue that will hold your district program together. What students learn and the sequence and the pace that they learn it are the keys to a successful guitar class. The standards that your district adopts are the starting point to determine the design of your curriculum. With standards based on assessment becoming commonplace for all music classes, it's even more critical that teachers use the correct curriculum. Whether your district has adopted the new National Core Music Standards or you have state standards, standards are essential benchmarks for student learning. Many teachers approach the guitar curriculum by purchasing a popular method book, assuming that it's pedagogically correct and that it's standards-based. The truth is that most available guitar method books are intended for self-instruction or private students and are written by guitarists who have not taught in classroom settings. Concepts such as sequencing, pacing, assessment, and ensemble performance are typically ignored. It's also important that the curriculum covers the range of music styles that the guitar is capable of and it's known for. The new National Core Music Standards puts an emphasis on the creative aspects of music making. Your curriculum should approach improvisation and composition in a logical and systematic way. I also can't stress enough the importance of well-written ensemble arrangements. They need to relate to the skills being taught, but at the same time cover a variety of music styles, being worthy of performance in a concert and being hip enough for the students to enjoy playing them. As I mentioned earlier, A multi-year guitar program that progresses through middle school to high school is entirely possible as long as you adopt an integrated curriculum that is sequenced over multiple years. It's an exciting time to be a teacher. Technology is being adopted by school districts everywhere and is becoming commonplace in the academic classroom. Technology-assisted instruction is an even better fit for music. Blended learning has evolved to be the instruction model of choice. Consonus Music is on the leading edge of this approach with our blended learning courseware for guitar. The concept is simple. Web-based audio and video tracks are used in the classroom to assist the teacher in demonstrating skills and accompany performance. Students access the online material outside of class to review or preview lessons and for practice. This approach provides support for the teacher in assuring that skills are modeled correctly, whether or not the teacher is a skilled guitarist. The learning management system that delivers the online content also enables differentiated instruction, or what we call layered learning, for students of varying levels playing in the same class. Ensemble participation. One of the great benefits of a traditional school music experience is playing as a member of an ensemble. Learning and playing a part that contributes to the sound of the ensemble is exciting for any music student. A high-quality guitar program will include a large component of ensemble music and performance. School administrators and parents are always a little shocked when they hear just how good a first semester class of beginning guitarists can sound when performing an ensemble literature. The intonation and the tone is generally spot on, and the sound of 50 guitars, or maybe even 20 or even 10 guitars, playing an arrangement is a beautiful thing. With inclusion of ensemble music, you open the door for guitarists to participate in district or state guitar festivals. The sense of commitment and ownership that students develop when they're part of a performing group is a big benefit of music participation. Now, I know there I'm sort of preaching to the choir, because all of you know the benefits of an ensemble from your teaching band, orchestra, or choir. The only music program that's more economical to start than a guitar program would be a choir. Guitar is a relative bargain to compare to the brass or woodwind or string instruments. So the areas that you'll need to start a program, apart from curriculum, are instruments, a place to play, and some other equipment. Guitars are inexpensive. Many of the students already have guitars, and almost any guitar will work to take the beginning class. I have seen situations where districts have purchased a set of classroom guitars for each student. This may not be as costly as it might seem. Adequate guitars can be purchased for around $100 per guitar, especially if they're purchased in bulk. I would recommend that if the teacher is fortunate enough to be able to purchase a classroom set of guitars, that nylon string guitars would be the ones to get. They're easier on the fingers of the students to begin with, and they produce a rich tone. They can also be played with the fingers or with a pick. So where do you hold guitar class? Unlike band that requires a sound-insulated room that's located away from the other classrooms in the school, guitars are relatively quiet and they can peacefully coexist with the other classes if need be. The short answer is that guitar can be taught anywhere. The only special accommodation is that there be armless chairs and music stands for the students. A whiteboard is always a good idea. Some other equipment and resources that you'll want to have on hand for the guitar class could include an audio system, a smart board, or a projector and a screen. These last items are essential if you're planning on using technology-assisted instruction like blended learning. The areas that I've talked about are fairly general and are meant to give you a springboard in establishing your own district's guitar program. If you'd like to start a program or improve an existing one, additional help is available through Consonus Music at cmilearn.org. You can also reach us through the NAfME Solutions Music Group. I'm going to step off camera now for a while so that I can respond to some of your questions that you've submitted in the chat room.